The Statue of Liberty, a gift to the USA from France, wears a beautiful crown. For many visitors, the view from its portals has meant a symbolic glimpse of hope and freedom. Sadly, after 9/11, the crown was closed for security reasons. Happily, July 4th, 2009 marked the reopening of the crown to the world. Canape cruises to the occasion on a visiting schooner from the French Navy, talks to the French ambassador, and listens to what speakers have to say about Lady Liberty.
It's, I think, very important that we are all here at the moment when the crown of the Statue of the Liberty is being opened again to the public. The idea that you have this monument right there in the harbor of New York that comes from France, and this is the first monument people see when they come to this country by sea.
Was indeed the idea of America embodied in this powerful statue, disassembled in Paris and then shipped to what was then called Bedloe's Island in New York Harbor, where reconstructed, she has borne witness to wave after wave of immigration groups and decades of complicated American history, and she remains. Here was our most durable symbol, still held hostage. Now she is opening again. We will have once again a chance to get inside her head, to reaffirm the principles that have guided us through so many turbulent times. So on this 4th of July, our birthday, she will have a new birth of freedom.
Today, we open the crown. Today, we restore the opportunity to once again have one of the most awesome experiences in the world. Climbing a narrow spiral staircase 354 steps high above the harbor to an unsurpassed vista of the people and places that make the American dream a reality. Since 1886, this lady has been a symbol of America and all the things Americans stand for: freedom, liberty, and justice.
Speaking of gifts, I think the Statue of Liberty has got to be just about the greatest gift of all times. And Ambassador Villaamon, I think it is emblematic of the special relationship that exists between France and the United States. We will not forget that even when we started this country and started to fight for our freedoms, it was France that came to our side. We should not forget that on July 4th.
I lift my lamp beside the golden door. I lift my lamp beside the golden door.
People coming together from all walks of life, as symbolized by the 7 individuals who were sworn in today. I say congratulations to you, but I also say thank you to you, because by you doing what you have done, the sacrifices that you've made, you have indeed made our nation a greater nation today, because the diversity of which you bring, the excellence of which you represent, the future of which you stand for is what America and that Statue of Liberty is all about.
France and the United States have been together on so many issues. French people and the American people really have a common sense of principles, a celebration of democracy, a hope in the future of our children and the world. And I think that the tie between the United States and France is one which emblazes the reality of today, and that is that we are one world, we are one people, and the things that we share with each other are really seen here in the Statue of Liberty, which now for 133 years has been giving to the hopes and aspirations of so many people who come here to America.
city seems to be very into the jazz. So just to be around that environment is inspiring.
My presence here is as a performing artist, and we played homage to John Coltrane, and I assembled a jazz quartet comprised of musicians from New York City to come here and work with me, and most of the musicians that came had worked with me before.
It's the oldest jazz festival in Europe, so we're very honored and very proud to be here in front of this audience.
French audiences are avid jazz lovers, and I really appreciate that. I like to come to France a lot. It's so much fun every time.
We only had 30 minutes to perform, so it's a very short amount of time for performers. I really love, of course, being on stage. We flew all this time, hours and hours and days to be here just to perform for 30 minutes. So what we were trying to do is just capture the excitement of our show, as well as the drama or the ballads or the, you know, all the heartfelt things.
As Americans, we're always taught to be individuals in our creativity. And so sometimes this concentrated thing of looking at someone else's music is almost as taboo as writing down a solo. I mean, they say, you gotta play your own solos, you have to do your own thing. Don't copy John Coltrane, don't copy Charlie Parker. Find your own voice in this music. And so it's very difficult. When I started out playing music, I had a very simple practice regimen. 1/2 hour discipline and the other half hour non-discipline.
We are very fond of tradition in jazz, like music of the greats, Miles, Coltrane and Benny Goodman, all the great singers. We wanted to pay tribute to one of them, and we choose Benny Goodman because the music really swings, so we wanted to visit this standard, putting French lyrics on it.
I've learned to really love the challenge of putting a show together and the challenge of pushing yourself harder, pushing myself harder to write, to find songs, and really personally dedicate myself to finding songs that are me, not just to make the crowd happy or to do what is expected, but for me to find what I want to say.
I like to make music that has a therapeutic feeling, that, you know, when you listen to it, maybe a particular set of chords, a certain melody, that it makes you feel emotions. You know, that's the kind of music that I like to make, that provokes people to have, you know, feelings.
And the promoters want us to concertize and do this more often, and so you really have to be focused to do a good concert every time. And the best way to be focused is to be healthy. The other way to be focused is to be focused on the music and to try to pull more out of the music.
I have a good time every time I play. During the set, you know, when we were playing, I looked out at the people. They seemed to be having a good time, and that's a positive thing. And you know, there's nothing like playing music next to water. It's a special thing.
Where are we exactly?
This is Washington Square Park. I don't know what's happening. We stumbled, we were walking, and we saw that there were a bunch of people gathered in front of a movie screen, and we were going to go see a movie in the theater, but we thought we'd come check out what movie was playing in the park. It's nice outside today.
They're having an outdoor movie in the park, playing Microcosmos, which is a movie that I like a lot, so it's about bugs.
Films on the green.
I've never seen movies in Washington Square Park.
I've never seen a movie in this park.
Are you going to stay for the whole screening?
Possibly. If I can find a seat, it looks pretty crowded. it's nice to see it, and it's nice to see a community of people coming out.
It's really cool, especially since it's summer and it's really nice out and it's free, which is great.
Music flies into my ear, melodic voices, they move a tear. Reminds me of you waiting in the sky, makes me feel lonely, just wanna fly.
The 19th century gave the world its first growth of great industrial cities. It also gave us photography, the means of seeing and preserving the changes in the cities in the industrial world. The new exhibit, Napoleon III and Paris, at the Metropolitan Museum in New York, offers a photographic dossier of a city in the midst of its rebirth into modernity. The ravishing photos, all of which come from the collections of the museum, are complemented by works from other media. Canape offers a stroll through the exhibit.
The exhibition focuses on Paris in the years of the 1850s and the 1860s. It's the period that we call the Second Empire, which is the period when Napoleon III ruled France. And it's a period that, on the one hand, marks the reshaping of Paris, and also a time that was a great flowering of photography in France. And those two happily came together, and so the exhibition is able to show us that great urban transformation through great works of art. Just 40 photographs, about a dozen prints, we'll paint one painting and one sculpture, and it's in 4 sections: the emperor and the imperial family, old Paris, the Paris that disappeared under Haussmann, new Paris, the Paris of Napoleon III, and then ultimately the ruins of Paris after the Commune. Most of the Paris that we know today, the grand public works, the broad boulevards, all of that was built in the 1850s and 1860s. Until then, it was largely a medieval city with narrow, winding streets, with very old buildings, and one has to say also a particular character to each neighborhood that was somewhat lost in the transformation that happened in the Second Empire.
In the United States, it's the Coen brothers. In Italy, it's the Taviani brothers. And in Belgium, it's the Dardenne brothers, Jean-Pierre and Luc. For the past decade, they've been picking up major awards at film festivals around the world for their sensitive portraits of everyday life among the marginal residents of a not-so-prosperous Europe. Their latest work, Lorna's Silence, takes a look at an Albanian woman who will even consider murder to get permanent residence in the West. Canape visits the family Dardenne.
C'est une histoire qu'on nous avait racontée il y a plusieurs années. On nous a raconté l'histoire. C'est une jeune femme qui nous a raconté l'histoire de son frère, qui est un junkie et qui avait été contacté par les gangsters albanais, qui est en Belgique, pour qu'il épouse une prostituée albanaise, pour qu'elle puisse avoir la nationalité belge. On lui promettait de l'argent le jour du mariage, et puis le double le jour du divorce. Et sa sœur lui a dit, il a raconté ça à sa sœur, et sa sœur lui a dit, ne fais pas ça. Tu ne verras jamais l'argent du divorce, tu vas mourir d'overdose. Parce qu'elle savait qu'il y avait d'autres junkies à Bruxelles qui avaient épousé des Albanaises et qu'on avait retrouvés morts d'overdose. Et lui, il n'a pas fait. Et nous, cette histoire est restée dans notre tête, et ça nous a semblé intéressant que le personnage principal ne soit pas le junkie, mais soit cette jeune femme qui viennent de l'étranger, qu'elles ne soient pas prostituées, qu'elles aient une vie normale, parce que sinon on l'enferme dans une image de la prostituée, et que voilà, que ce soit ce personnage qui soit au centre, et qu'on essaie de raconter avec lui comment il va se débrouiller avec le fait qu'il a fait un pacte pour avoir une belle vie en laissant mourir quelqu'un. Enfin, avoir une belle vie, avoir une vie meilleure, sur le dos de quelqu'un qu'elle est d'accord de laisser mourir, de tuer, de participer à son assassinat.
Tu peux aller me chercher du Buscopan à la pharmacie? C'est pour mes crampes. Tiens, ça doit être 18 ou 19.
Pourquoi je dois faire des choses pour toi?
Tu sais bien, si je sors, je vais revoir les autres et je vais replonger.
Alors, ça ne me regarde pas. T'as reçu ton argent pour le mariage, tu vas recevoir le double pour le divorce. T'as rien d'autre pour me demander, rien.
Je m'en fous de l'argent. Je te demande de m'aider. Achète-moi du Buscopan.
Va l'acheter toi-même. Non.
Aide-moi. Aide-moi, Lorna.
Lève-toi.
Aide-moi.
Lève-toi. Écris sur un papier le nom du médicament. Donne. C'est quoi le nom?
Buscopan. Enferme-moi.
Non.
Qui est Lorna? C'est vraiment la question qu'on voulait que le spectateur se pose avec nous, parce qu'elle est étrange. Elle est plusieurs personnes en même temps. Elle est une femme qui veut arriver à avoir sa place au soleil, le snack, la nationalité belge pour pouvoir avoir l'argent, faire l'emprunt à la banque. Elle veut réussir sa vie, s'intégrer dans la société belge. Elle veut aussi l'amour avec Sokol. Elle veut avoir donc tout cela et en même temps, elle veut aussi sauver Claudie. Et voilà, elle va devoir choisir. Et c'est très difficile pour elle de comprendre que son bonheur ne mérite peut-être pas la mort d'un homme, la mort de Claudie. Et ça, elle le comprendra, mais très tard.
T'es d'accord?
Je veux pas être fiché comme violent, moi.
T'es déjà fiché comme drogué, voleur.
C'est pas pareil. Puis j'ai jamais frappé une femme.
Les 5 000 € de divorce que tu peux avoir plus vite, ça ne t'intéresse pas?
Je peux attendre. J'ai mon CPS et puis je peux peut-être retrouver du boulot.
Si t'acceptes, je t'aiderai à ne pas recommencer la drogue. Même après le divorce. Il y a des gens qui arrivent. Vas-y, frappe-moi. Frappe-moi, Claudie. Vas-y.
On a toujours peur qu'un acteur, si vous lui dites le personnage il fait ça, parce qu'il a vécu ça, parce qu'il a connu ça quand il était plus jeune, parce que son père ou sa mère, ceci. L'acteur, il va se sentir obligé de jouer, enfin, il va jouer quelque chose, il va plus vraiment être là, il va interpréter. Et on sait que l'acteur, il pense toujours à quelque chose, ça c'est son problème. Mais nous, on essaye toujours de répondre de manière à le déstabiliser. S'il nous dit, mais je pense ça maintenant, parce que je crois quand même, on dit, si tu veux, mais nous, on penserait plutôt le contraire. Comme ça, on essaye toujours qu'il ne puisse pas être sûr.
Je vais rouler toute la journée. Comme ça, j'aurai pas besoin de me demander ce que je peux faire. Je peux venir te saluer à midi?
J'ai trop de travail, je tiens le magasin.
Non, mais c'est pas pour manger avec toi. C'est juste pour me donner un but au milieu de la journée. Je passe te voir, puis je repars.
D'accord.
J'ai besoin de te voir. Ça m'aide à tenir. Moi, j'y vais. Tiens, je préfère que tu la gardes. Bon, tout à l'heure.
À tout à l'heure.